G'day, this is Captainoob and this is a Lachmann sub. This is a weapon that has been ported from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 from 2022, complete with custom sounds both for reloading and for firing, and animations to go along with those reloading sounds as well, both ported from the game. Now this thing is also craftable on a chemistry workbench with a little bit of a caveat. We'll get to that when we get to that, but it's a little bit of a problem, I see. Now, this weapon is based on a real-life firearm, the German MP5 submachine gun, manufactured by HK, which means we're going to have that HK slap every time we reload this thing. Despite this thing having the tactical reload thing installed with it, we're going to be slapping this thing every time we reload, which is fine. It's okay. I don't really care. Although we'd have a little bit of a faster reload if we didn't have to go through the slap every time if we had one in the chamber still. But apparently they jam when they do that, so maybe we'll just play it safe and not have our submachine gun jam on us, because that's a little bit more of a problem than a slightly longer reload, don't you think? So this weapon comes in two flavors. What you're seeing now is just a standard automatic version, but there's also a burst fire version with the integrally suppressed barrel, the MP5SD version, which I believe stands for suppressor dimension, because that's where this weapon comes from. Every firearm from the suppressor dimension has a suppressor on it, so here it is. That's actually not what it means, but who knows? So the suppressor dimension version, despite having the fire selector on fully automatic, it's actually a burst fire, so you'll have to take my word for that. As we get into combat, I'll show you what that's all about. But you'll find the attachments are pretty much the same for these things, except for the barrels. The barrels on the suppressor dimension version a little bit different. But we'll go over the attachments on this one, and if there's any overlap, we'll just skip over it. So we'll go for auto powerful here. 78 damage with a decent fire rate, low range, and half decent accuracy, I suppose. So we're gonna have to get really close to our enemies to actually get this to work, which is going to be possibly at our detriment, but it's a submachine gun, so we can't expect it to carry its damage over a long distance in firing such small bullets. Now, when we go over the sights, it adds a little Picatinny rail up to the top there, and you can throw on a bunch of these Call of Duty generic sights, which, you know, look familiar, but they're not quite the same. We'll throw on this Angel 40 Aerotech looking sight onto it. And for the magazines, a big 50-round drum magazine. Don't worry about the fire rate, that's just a bug there. But, yep, that's a big magazine, and we'll be firing for a long time between reloads, which is nice. We'll see less HK slaps this way, but more sustained fire potential is always nice. And you can change its grip. Pick what you want, really. There's a lot of fluff here with the, I guess you could call it the Call of Duty modification descriptions, but whether they have any bearing on what this weapon does, well, there's nothing on the weapon card, so I can't really comment on it because the intricacies may be lost on me. Although that does change it to a tan color, which is not cool if you want to keep this thing all one color, but we'll go for a two-toned version here. Now, extending that barrel out will give you at maximum 131 range, which will help you just a little bit reach out during combat, which is nice, and that obviously allows us to throw on a muzzle slot, although that was probably equipable with a standard barrel anyway. Under your barrel, you can throw on a grip. Angled, stubby, long foregrips, short ones, you name it, it's here, except for a grip pod, but that's fine. You don't want those on submachine guns. That's impractical. And now we go on to the stocks. You can have these ones. There's a fixed one. There's also these extendable ones, which are cool. Let's go for a S76 factory stock. Why not? And there we go. That sort of supports our two-tone thing here. If you're colorblind like I am, you might not notice too much of a difference. Now, you can throw a suppressor on these things. You'll get a little bit of extra damage out of Ace Operator if you do so. We're just hitting under 100 damage when we actually equip those. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this one unsuppressed because it's easier to take thumbnails with a much lesser length gun, but also because I've got a I've got a weapon here with an inbuilt suppressor, so I think we'll use that thing instead. There's also a damage slider here, so if you feel like it should be punching a little bit harder, you can tune it up to plus 90% damage if you feel like it. Now that is pretty much it for our standard Lachmann sub. Let's go over to our Shroud version here. So here's the barrels. You can have this one, which gives you a longer barrel and even higher range than what you'd get out of your standard automatic version, which I think is quite interesting. And of course, you've got no options for under the rail, under the barrel. Well, that's interesting. Anyways, so most of this stuff is the same, so we'll skip over it, but I think you get the gist of it. So what we'll do is we'll modify this thing up. I'll surprise you to see what it's like after I've done modifying it, but then we'll get to shooting stuff. Hey, look, I found the grip. Don't worry, I found it. It was there. On your chemistry workbench, find weapons. Lachmann sub. Terrible name, by the way. And you can craft this thing for these materials and a vanilla game submachine gun. You might notice how there's 2 different entries here. You might be thinking that one of these is for the Shroud version, but that isn't the case. It is actually both the same weapon. So currently, as of this version, I can't actually craft the Shroud version using this chemistry station means. So we're going to use console commands. Alright, so we know what we're looking for in console commands, so repeat after me and you should find it fairly easily. Open up your console commands, you want to type in help Shroud for wep, which means the 4 just means an item the player can hold or the player can interact with, and weapon just narrows it down even further to only weapon forms. Lachmann Shroud, there it is. You'll see it's got a code F9006E5C. So what you want to do with that code is go player, period, or full stop, add item, that's all one word, space, after that, F9, and then 006E5C. And then hit enter, and there you go. You've got yourself a Lachmann Shroud, easy peasy. And if you want even more of them, you can type in 400,000, and then you'll probably crash the game adding all of those submachine guns to your inventory. But now you've got 401,000 of them. 400,001? I've fucked the game. Alright, we're back in the killing fields. Here is our Lachmann in first person, and firing the thing. There's a little bit of side-to-side recoil, but it doesn't feel like it's too much. We're only firing, what, 9mm rounds, which I guess the equivalent of that is the 38 cartridge that this game has, and it's not too bad. Here's the suppressed version of our Lachmann sub. I've got iron sights on it. Yeah, we're doing something different. It's also got a longer barrel, fixed stock, a different grip, and also an angled foregrip. And that burst fire, it's pretty fast. Only the automatic is faster, but, I mean, the damage per bullet is going to be slightly better on this one, thanks to the fact that it's got a suppressor, and that allows us to make use of Ace Operator. But if I was using the automatic one, it'd do the same amount of damage with a powerful receiver. As you can tell, damage numbers are back, baby. No more energy damage weapon fix, although I did download the patch. Was that a knockdown? Was that a knockdown? That was a knockdown on a burst fire SMG. That's awesome. Okay. Well, that changes everything. This guy's gonna die. Take that, and that, and that. Alright, now, there's a blood bug around. We're gonna kick his ass. That should be good enough. Even if I don't hit this guy, I want those crits back anyway. There we go. Oh yeah, that is totally giving them knockdowns, which is a shame because I can't really do much. Here's what I'll do. I'll go prone. There we go. Oh! Oh, it's semi-auto in third person, though. Well, that's weird. Hang on, let me just, hang on. I don't usually drive stick like this, so I think I just put Nina in first for no reason there. Anyways, let's go over to our automatic one there, close and personal. There we go. Well, it's doing okay. I should probably aim for the head here, just to utilize that more damage. Also, I'm getting all of this weird extraneous damage added onto it, and I'm not sure what's doing that, to be honest. Just single-digit numbers of damage that is just appearing from the heads sometimes. I'm not sure what's causing that. But regardless of that, we'll just move over in this direction and maybe not bite off more than we can chew because, you know, there's a lot of gunners shooting at me. We've got all this health, so we may as well try to keep it for as long as possible. And if these guys aren't ready for me yet, which they totally were, never mind. There we go, look at that knockdown there. Very good. Now, if I'm getting a 3-round burst, that's like 3 chances. Huh. Maybe... Oh, I don't know why it was only firing semi-auto when I was prone. I would say maybe it's an incompatibility with the prone mod, because that was never designed to be used with guns specifically not tuned to their particular... Ooh, that was terrible. Got shot from somewhere. Yeah, it wasn't ever designed to be used with guns not specifically told to have specific animations for that mod. But regardless of that, still doing pretty well. Well, that must have been a low-level gunner, dude. Anyways, let's go back over to VATS now, and the crits are okay, I suppose, but yeah, these guys are starting to out-tank this thing. Now, this thing's it's a low-caliber weapon, so we can't really complain about its damage too much, and I feel like with its massive rate of fire, the DPS is probably good enough. There's Creation Club Lady, she goes down. I'm glad she whiffed with a Gauss rifle because that would have hurt if it hit. And its low recoil means that I can pretty steadily keep my aim on their heads, and that alone is going to increase my damage by an amount where I feel like it's way more acceptable. I'm going to burn through my AP pretty quickly there as I watch the AP bar instead of where I'm shooting there. Yeah, but you didn't like that, did you? Oh boy, cavalry's here. Alright. We'd last longer at point blank range against this Death Star than those Superstar Destroyers, so we'll go and do that. And there's a few laser sights going through the walls, don't worry about it. That guy's almost dead. That's what I was looking for. And at this stage, we're in pretty good shape to have a level up fairly shortly, so I think we'll be able to sneak this in as long as I don't go too poorly here. We'll have a pretty easy job at staying alive. Just got to make sure we're not getting surrounded by gunners. There we go. Even more helpful as I can neutralize a target before I end them, so I don't have to get shot during a firefight too many times. Now, I'm wondering whether this is just a quirk of the iron sights or it's marked as a scope just like the standard iron sights for a vanilla game assault rifle, or whether I'd just miss out on this thing entirely if I was utilizing a reflex sight like I would normally tend to use. So, I don't know, maybe there's this one comment. I mean, I think there's a few people that complain when I don't use proper iron sights on firearms because, I don't know, maybe they use the iron sights in COD and they want the weapon to feel like more of a COD style variant. I could explain to them till I'm blue in the face why there's numerous tactical advantages to utilizing a version with a reflex sight in terms of its VATS AP usage, but I think that's just wasted on them. I mean, by the time we've added all of these Call of Duty guns into Fallout, are we even playing Fallout anymore? Certified law expert TKS Mantis said no. We are playing a first-person shooter, a tactical Escape from Tarkov clone, and what else is there? Yes, Barbie doll operators. That's the missing piece here. So I'm cutting through these guys pretty handily. The headshot VATS tricks are just bursts in. Even without a critical, they're pretty devastating. And this thing being as accurate as it is, and the range that I've got on this allows me to just get these shots. I think we're right in the sweet spot where we're just far enough away, or they're just far enough away where we can utilize every single point of damage rather than having it drop off. And there it is again. So probably a little bit more of a VATS heavy run today, and it's soaking up the clock a little bit. But we didn't get a very good start by being able to snipe them repeatedly from a position which is fairly safe. There you are. Forgot to aim down sights there. There's a huge DPS difference, and that's not all because of the burst there. I believe since technically it's a rifleman weapon, since I'm getting the knockdowns the game thinks it's semi-auto, I'm getting all of that extra armor penetration. So yeah, I might get more staggers or anything if I'm using this automatic version, but by all accounts, the integral suppressed barrel is just better. It's objectively better in every single way, that I would just recommend using that one instead, which is great because I love suppressors in Fallout. I'd use them every single chance I get, even when it doesn't make no sense, like on an M60, for example. Yeah. All right. A little bit more longer range shooting there. We can see the VATS numbers aren't giving us a favorable amount of damage on that health bar. There's a HK slap. Actually, I'll show you that animation in third person because it's not a slap as much as a punch. Like, this thing likes it rough, I think. And it's responding to it well, so I'm pretty sure it does like it rough. There we go. Got to generate those criticals back. There we go. This is like the amount of damage you get out of a COD gun from this range. You'd just be tickling them at this range, so I guess that makes sense there. Anyways, one door breach to go. Wish I had a flashbang. I do not. They were ready for me this time. They shot me with a rocket launcher and everything. Let me just do this again. No, put it down, put it down. There we go. And even in situations where I'm heavily outgunned by a factor of 3 to 1, I can juggle them around and make them tumble across the floor due to the knockdowns we get on this thing. So it's a quirk there. Hope that's not a bug and hope it doesn't get removed because I actually really love it. And with that, we are done here at Immersive Gunners Plaza, and I would like to think that this thing's pretty well balanced. You could argue that it struggled a little bit against those enemies, but once we got on that sweet spot, that sort of short to medium range and using the suppressed version, that just crushed everything pretty well there. And I think that the as it stands, the automatic version and the suppressed version are just different in terms of what their power output is. So this is like an early game weapon. This one can go mid to late game if you're especially sneaky too. So if you're gonna use something like a deliverer build or something, you use something like that and you're going to get even more power. So, you know, and the reputation of deliverers, it's a pretty good end game weapon should you be sneaky enough. Well, this thing is going to do that, but even better. So yeah, good stuff. Let's move on. Okay, I think the speed of this kill is going to be hinged upon exactly how sneaky I am. So, I've got a plan. We sneak like the Solid Snake Man from, like, Metal Gear or something. Yeah, I played Phantom Pain. And then we shoot this guy. There we go. He blows up spectacularly. And then we sneak some more. I wonder if we can crawl under the train doing this. I think we can, you know. Maybe? Yes! That's awesome. Okay. That's just added a new tactical move set that we could utilize. And hang on, I stalled Nina again. It happens. Anyways, I'm thinking we could do this. And then we roll. We go back into first person for a moment. Full 50 round burst, all sneak criticals. Maybe lean out a little bit. Okay, I think he's being attacked by something else. We'll go over here. Try to figure out what that is. Ah, it's the ghoul. Get out of here. Awesome. Now we crawl back under. He sees me rolling. Well, actually, no, he doesn't. But he's definitely hating. I like how you go into first person. It immediately puts your camera in a crouch position, so it immediately clips through everything. All right, maybe we need to get back up. Where'd he go? I think I made him tumble off the side of the earth. No, he's over there. How? Who knows? Anyways, I'm going to keep burst firing him. Maybe we'll utilize this reload and go back under. Perfect. Yes. You can't see me. First person, so I can utilize burst fire. Oh, yeah. I still got no idea where all of this extraneous damage is coming from. Perhaps the thing is bugged out a little bit, or I don't know. But yeah, things are going pretty well as it stands at the moment. We're able to just hide underneath this train carriage, and you know what? That'd probably be what you'd want to do against a behemoth in real life, because well, there's no way he's going to have a look under. It's like hiding from the T-Rex in the Jurassic Park movie that's sitting in the car, and the thing can barely see them because they're not moving, and also that. Hang on, I think I've knocked him out. I think he's gone. Right, because all I see down there is a Mirelurk, and that anchor was on the ground for ages, and still, well, the Mirelurk seemed to be alerted to his presence, and there's definitely one down there. Perhaps the approach here. Oh, wait a minute. I might need to pull him out through the ground with console commands. Hang on, let me just check something. Ah, there you are. Let me just help you out of there, my friend. Alright, he was in the ground, but now he's not, and now we get to fight him on real terms. Anyways, maybe we should utilize this automatic version just a little bit. That's a hand shot, not a headshot. That's better. It was weird. When he was getting up, I was shooting him in the hand for all that damage. Yeah, there's a big difference between automatic and burst fire here, and nothing really shows you that more than what I was getting before. So like it's like 21 damage per bullet. Switch over this one, and a reload, of course. 34, and a knockdown as well, which means we can get easy headshots should we find his face. So let's continue this. We've got all of these VATS criticals. May as well use them. Although I think the better choice here is to not make him roll along the ground like that. And use our bullet timey VATS and just hip fire those crits so he doesn't get too crazily knocked up. As I immediately aim down sights to enhance the precision. Whatever, you get the idea. One more critical after that reload. Mysterious Stranger shows up. He's gonna take my kill. He might, you know. Alright. Should be Nerd Rage, and I think Destroyer of Acadia showed up there, and we got 347 per bullet. And he attempts a backflip and breaks his neck on the way down. Probably a little bit of a waste of Nerd Rage there, all of that damage bonus. We probably could have used it against this next fight, but the job is done with a little bit of console command tuning, but, you know, sometimes you got to give him a sporting chance. You know what? I'm committed to this Solid Snake bit, so we're going to try this again. And this time it'll be against a giant Wendigo guy. That would make more sense if I get the Nina follow mod done. But anyways, let's take him out. This is only semi-auto, by the way, so we should probably be doing better damage. I think we still use burst fire and VATS like that. Well, no we don't. Still, that's a lot of damage though. I think I keep jamming the HK there. That's not good. But just like the previous fight, this should be an easy enough thing. We just need to juggle him a little bit when he gets up. And, I mean, with the amount of fire we can get on him, we've got a 3-round burst, 50-round magazine, and all of that chance to get him knocked on the ground like that. Which means we've got an exceptionally good weapon just to completely neutralize him, and we should have no problems here. In fact, if I get hit again, I'll probably die anyway, but that probably shouldn't happen. And of course, we've got a couple other tricks up the sleeve, like, for example, bullet time criticals. Oh, a Mysterious Stranger's even shown up. He was immune to all my bullets, but I think I'll keep him down long enough for the Mysterious Stranger to finish him off. Maybe he's got... I think he gets one magazine, and I didn't have to dodge these attacks. He's all over the place. I think he was panicking a little bit there because he couldn't do anything. Anyways, I think I heard some gunners and shit fire over there. Yep, that's a legendary gunner. Well, we'll send some love his way. There we go. Now we've got a red thing on. Hey, has that one got a Gauss shotgun? I think he does, you know. Right, let's use our automatic one because I really haven't used this one all that much. Oh, really? Not cool, man. That is, in fact, a Gauss shotgun. That's scary. Let me just reload this thing. I think I just cancelled the animation of being flashbanged by going into VATS. Yes. I felt the camera pull away for a second there. Oh, no. I broke everything. Okay. I broke the camera in general. Yep. Okay. This is not cool. So now it's going to go behind me? Oh, I fixed it. I fixed it by switching guns. Great. Alright. Can I VATS that? Oh, I thought you were invisible for a second. I was going to say. Normally with a stealth boy person, you can't VATS them. That is definitely a Gauss shotgun, and that feels like it hurts. Stop shooting me with that, would you? There we go. The DPS war is won. So, we'll go and try to hit them with some criticals if I've got any. I don't think I've got any left, to be honest. Bullet time it is. And yet another level up. We've been pretty good for level ups today. And there we go. There's a Mysterious Stranger again. He comes up all the time. It's a Beaten Slayer. Yeah, it comes up all the time for bullet time VATs. I don't know if it's like a per hit basis sort of thing, so if you've got an automatic gun, it just shows up more often. But who knows? Anyways, job's done, and Roger Warwick has survived this time. Do I have any casualties at all apart from these turrets? Oh, there goes that guy. And oh no, your wife's dead.
Roger.
Thanks for your help, friend.
No problem, Garrus.
I was glad to help out.
I can't argue with your timing. Who knows what would... Anyway.
I think he's failed to notice that his wife and... Oh, his daughter's dead too. Oh no. Maybe the shock hasn't set in yet, but I should go before he lashes out. But everyone he knows and cares about is dead, so... not a happy man. Anyway, so I think you get the idea. That was Lachmann sub, a submachine gun, an MP5 from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Really good weapon mod. Check it out if you're interested. There's plenty of MP5 mods already out there, but this COD flavored one is definitely one worth looking at. I will say that I do think the Shroud version is so much better than the standard version. You could probably stand to buff the auto one version a little bit if you wanted to make it a little bit more competitive against the Shroud version, because the burst fire is just so good, especially when you pair it with the constant knockdowns I was getting. It's a whole lot of fun to utilize. There's the jetpack animations happening without a jetpack. You're an idiot, Nina. So, anyways, if you like to see this weapon in your game, check out the link in the description. Highly recommend it. Also, if this thing's not ported on consoles yet, I'll be leaving an alternative mod, alternative MP5 mod in the description as well. Thank you very much for watching, guys.